Hi, this is Dan Freeland. You're joining us for another TBT Google Hangout. I have with me today three members of the ONU Tigers. I have Matt Mitchell. Hey, Matt.
How you doing, Dan?
Great, thank you. I have Rashad Mitchell. Hey,
How you doing,
Rashad, how are
Dan?
you? I think we crossed up there. How are you?
Doing good.
Great. And I have Ryan Paxson. Ryan, how are you?
Great. How are you, Dan?
I'm doing great. So listen, Matt, I wanted to start with you and discuss your team a little bit. You guys are really doing great in the fan count. You're on the tournament.com all the time. I want to quiz you right now. Do you know exactly how many fans you have?
390 plus, just probably past 390 maybe.
That's fantastic. Are you on there on a daily basis, an hourly basis? How often are you actually checking out your fan count and everything else?
Definitely every morning when I wake up, kind of see what happened overnight, and then throughout the day, if there's times, I'll kind of log in, refresh, and see where we're at. Occasionally, I run the Twitter and social media aspects of our team too, so I have to do some updating there occasionally throughout the day and try to stay relevant with the fans and followers there.
Now, are you a mobile viewer, or are you checking it on a laptop or a desktop or something?
All the above.
Rashad, how about you? Are you checking out the site very often?
Definitely. My wife is actually number 2 on our fans, so she's always talking about it, trying to get more people to sign up. So I'm actually on my phone a lot, and she's using her desktop. So.
Rashad, is that a point of contention in your household, in your Mitchell household? Because Matt's wife is actually the far and away leader in terms of total fans recruited.
Oh, don't you worry. The Mitchells are always in competition, friendly competition, I would say that. So it's good.
Have you guys been planning out? Because I mean, I got to think statistically. I'm not a math guy, but I've got to think that statistically, your wives have got some of the best chances of actually winning this. Have you guys planned out what you're going to do with that 25,000 or the trip to Vegas?
Well, we actually don't think that far ahead. If that comes to happen, we'll see what goes down then. But right now, we're both just happy and just enjoying life.
Matt, you seem like you'd probably be more interested in the free eggs for a decade. Is that a fair assessment?
Not a chance, no. I think you commented on one of the pictures of something that was posted, and you said that my wife was going to win eggs for a decade, and she was a little salty. I think she was thinking the 25 grand sounded a lot better.
Ryan, you're not married, but you do have the Marine Corps behind you, presumably. Have you had any efforts to try to get all those Marines behind you, fanning your team?
You know what? I don't know. The guys that I work with, this tournament would fly way over their heads. So I don't know. Like I got like my girlfriend. She's got a few people to like sign up and everything like that. But Matt definitely keeps us like via text, making sure that we're on there daily.
Now, Ryan, for those that don't know, you actually had started in college with Matt and with Rashad at Olivet, Nazarene, and you left after a couple years to join the Marines. Can you talk about how that decision came about?
I'm sorry. There was a plane that just flew over my window.
Oh.
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
The question was, you actually started at Olivet with Matt and with Rashad, and then after a couple seasons decided to join the Marines. And I was curious if you can give us some details about how it was that you made that choice.
Yeah, I was there a year before Matt and Rashad got there, and I redshirted my freshman year, medical redshirt, and pretty much after my redshirt sophomore year, probably middle of the way through, I just kind of had, I don't know, just this in my gut that I want to do something different, and talked over with my parents for a while, and it was my decision, but they were supportive, and I just felt like, I don't know, that I wanted to go do some sort of service, and the Marine Corps was the one thing that really, kept kind of, stayed in my head, so I kind of just decided to do it.
And for those that haven't made the connection, Ryan, your dad is John Paxson, former Chicago Bull and current front office member there. Was it a difficult decision to kind of step away from basketball, given how important the sport has been in your family's lives?
No, the basketball part was definitely not hard to step away from. The only thing I didn't really like about it was probably the publicity that came with me deciding to join the Marine Corps, which I didn't really want any part of. I just kind of wanted to go do my thing and let it be, but obviously, with what my dad does, it became, some sort of a story in the Chicago area. Just, everybody kind of wondering why. But the big thing was everybody just thought I was leaving because I had a problem or something like that, and then it wasn't like that at all. So I mean, those two can attest to that. But
yeah, it wasn't it.
Well, did he suddenly lose his shooting stroke or shot? I mean, it wasn't.
No, that was never the problem either.
I think I had a pretty good year my sophomore year. So I don't know, just something I felt like I had to do, and I don't know, I was kind of getting to that point where I wanted to go see if, there were two wars going on, and I wanted to see if I could, if I basically was man enough to go deal with that. And so I was happy I did it when I did it, even though it was really hard leaving my teammates and everything like that.
And obviously, I mean, after all these years, you've proven that you have been man enough, and we're obviously very indebted to your service. But you've also got a pretty neat job right now. Can you tell people what you're up to?
Yeah, I do. I'm a part of the unit that supports Marine in Quantico, Virginia. So I'm part of the security group that does that for HMX1 is the unit I'm a part of. So yeah, it's neat.
That's excellent. Rashad, I was curious. You guys, you and Ryan, at one point formed a pretty formidable backcourt at Olivet. You're looking forward to getting back in the court with him. It's been a couple years that he's been away from the game. You think he still has that shooting ability?
Oh yeah, he always did. It was just I would give him the ball in the weirdest positions, and he would turn around and throw it up there, and swish, it goes away. So it was always awesome.
Is he what you'd call a black hole, though? I mean, is he a guy that's going to get that ball and then not give it back?
No, not then. We had our Coach Hodge. Our coach was then wouldn't allow that, so he did a great job.
Matt, you're the GM of this team. Are you going to be the coach, like the de facto coach as well?
Oh yeah, he will. You don't have to ask him.
I think we'll kind of manage that as a unit, but we do have one guy who's probably the oldest of all of us. He played in the system before us. He's actually one of the coaches now, assistant coach and all that. That's Stan Chismark. So I'm sure he'll want to get his 2 cents in quite a bit.
Now, is this going to be a democracy, though? I mean, somebody's going to call the shots here, right, in terms of who's getting the ball at the last minute, who's calling timeouts, and that.
Oh, it'll definitely be Stan.
Yeah, he's gonna get the ball for sure.
Stan still thinks he's 21, so he's gonna take the ball if it's close.
Or Wallenfang, who thinks he's better than he really is.
Now, you guys have got a roster that's at this point made up, I think, with one exception, Matt, of all Olivet guys, right?
Correct. Initially, we wanted to kind of keep it pure and stay Olivet. There was several guys we reached out to that were past players or that overlapped with us at one time or another. And it just wasn't going to work, whether other commitments or they couldn't get there. But so eventually we reached out to one of our Josh Bronke, who's our sole point guard on the roster. One of his good friends, Kevin, who I believe maybe even came and took some visits to Olivet. I think looked at it for a little while, ended up playing at a Division II school. But he stayed real close with several of the guys and played with them in the summer and picked up and stuff, so we knew it'd be a good fit.
Now, what do you think the starting lineup looks like for ONU in the tournament?
Honestly, we haven't even looked at it too much. I'd assume we're going to start Josh. He's the point guard. And from there, I mean, I think we got a lot of good weapons. We'll probably play, good rotation and get a bunch of guys in there and see who's hot and let them play.
Now, are the two guys with us today, Ryan and Rashad? Are they going to be competing for playing time here, Matt, or do you think they'll be on the court at the same time?
I think we'll have a mixture, and we'll see what happens. Like I said, whoever's got the hot hand, that's who's going to be playing.
I'm not going to beg for playing time, but Rashad and I complement each other pretty well. He's the athletic guy, and I'm just the little white guy who can shoot it. So
exactly. Yep.
It's not a bad combo.
Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll make do.
Ryan, have you kept up with playing while you've been in the Marines?
I did for the first probably 2-3 years I was in, and then I got sent over to Japan. I went to Afghanistan for a year. So once I got back from there, in January of 2013, I started playing again. But there was about a 2-year lull where I just didn't have the time or availability to play. But I have been lately.
Are any of you guys are you guys playing in leagues or rec leagues or whatever on a regular basis? Rashad, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I'm in actually 2 leagues right now, just with some work buddies and some people from my church, and so they're just around here in Indianapolis.
Matt, what about you?
Yep, I've played in a couple different leagues, just some men's leagues at the rec center or in a church league as well.
And Ryan?
Yeah, there's one on base that I play on, the base I'm at, so and a lot of pickup too.
So are you guys going to get together for practice ahead of time, like in terms of organized practice, run some set plays, or do you think that the Olivet offense is going to come right back to you?
We're not going to run the Olivet offense.
No. You can't forget that if you tried. I think it's ingrained in our memories for life. But I think if we can get a few guys together, and obviously it might be a little more difficult for Ryan not being here in the Midwest, but try to get together once or twice and run up and down together one more time before we get out there.
What is the Olivet offense? You guys were kind of laughing when I asked you about that, but is there like a particular offense set that Olivet runs? Ryan?
I mean, Matt, I wouldn't even know how to describe it. It is, our coach has been there for 30-plus years, and you could bring in guys who played in 1985, and they would, they were on the same stuff as we do now. It just never changed.
And that being said, it's not easily scouted at the same time. There's so many different variations and options to run. So you think if you've been running it for 30 years, people would catch on, but we still get layups back door all day. So
I still think Coach Hodge does run the best out of bounds sets, though.
Yep.
No doubt. Yep. Got to give him credit. He's an X's and O genius.
So you guys can bring some of those sets to Philadelphia, assuming that there isn't an epic collapse.
The ones that work will bring out.
What's it? Say that again, Rashad.
I said the ones that worked will bring out.
That's
33.
great.
Oh yeah.
33 up.
Yeah.
Well, there's not going to be a lot of video, I would think. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but there wouldn't be a lot of video that people could scout you by. Am I right, Matt?
Nope.
No, probably not. I mean, they'd have to contact the coaches that were our opponents to get that, so it wouldn't be too easy to get their hands on.
So do you guys think you're going to be a little bit of a sleeper in this event? I mean, you obviously have the background of having played as a team together. Rashad, what do you think of that?
I think that we're going to sneak up on some people. I definitely agree with that. I definitely think that they're going to see us and think that we're not there to play, but these fellas that we signed up with, they all come to play usually every time they're out there in the court, so it's going to be fun.
Ryan, it's been a couple of years since you've been around them, but obviously this is a pretty competitive group of guys, right?
Oh, definitely. I think all the way across the board, it's a pretty competitive group. Stan, Tyler, and Josh, those are the guys who stand out to me, who are more the competitive guys I've been around, especially Stan.
He'll have a reputation after the first day if we make it out there.
Oh yeah.
Guys, I really appreciate you coming by. This is Dan Friel. You've been watching a TBT Google Hangout. I had with me today Ryan Paxson. Ryan, thanks a lot.
All right, thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
Rashad Mitchell. Thank you, Rashad.
Thank you.
And Matt Mitchell, whose wife Lindsay is currently the fan leader in the clubhouse. I don't even know how many fans she's recruited. It's got to be over 200 at this point, Matt. Wouldn't you think?
Probably pretty close. Yep.
Tell her to keep doing what she's doing. And if you want to join Lindsay and Rashad, and Rashad's wife, rather, Katie Mitchell, right, Rashad?
Yes, sir.
If you want to join Lindsay and Katie Mitchell on the ONU Tigers bandwagon, go to thetournament.com and click Join to fan this team. Thank you very much and have a good night.
Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.